All right, where are we today? We're right here. What's going on, everyone? It's Caretographer. We're back. Hope y'all are feeling all right. We're gonna get a little work done today. A little lofi jam. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. Whatever it is. I can't keep track. Can't keep tabs on all y'all. We got people watching from all over the world. We got time zones left and right. But it don't matter. I think coffee is something that we can slurpy at any time of the day. So slurpy to you and yours. We'll give everyone a moment to kind of find their seats, settle in, and we'll get going on some maps. That's right. We're making maps today. We have a new person joining our vampire group. Ewan McGregor is the best. One of my favorites, for sure. They're chill. They can stay. Alright, let's get a world up. Oh, do not have a stream manager at the moment. I can fix that in a few. Boom. Oh! Alright. Booting up. We're booting. We're booting it. So I've been having a lot of fun on this. Taking it easy. I mean, I don't think I've really gotten to a point where I want to like frickin' power out my jobs. I like taking my time when I work Dungeon Alchemist. Um, and I say that in a means of efficiency, right? Like you get burnt out. My inspiration thing kind of dies out from time to time. My little creative brain. So like what I mean by that is like I like taking my time so that I'm more efficient. So when I'm here at the computer and I'm working, I easily can put things on the map and I'm not struggling to kind of get my thoughts and ideas out. I'm just trying to get the vegetation outside of this house. And I would like for the dirt to be like completely inside the house, but there we go. I can just put some bushes or some grass tufts here. Every now and then, like the animation on these things, like that's the trigger point right there, and like it comes into here, So it's like you gotta go past what you want sometimes. I really like that one there, though. That's awesome. Sometimes they stay in good spots for you. in my opinion, excuse me, like these are are very similar to these things. I actually think they're the same art. Yeah, they are. But they look different. You see the difference? Like this one's got like a brighter green to it. And like also has angles too. Oh, I guess these ones do too. I haven't really inspected these so much before. So these are the same. But I feel like they just like, you can see they got like a lightness to them. These ones are a bit lighter. The random tufts too. Let me look at more of these random spawns. That's awesome. It's a great blend. Okay, so we're making this into an inn. We've already done the outside of this a bit. We have our horsey stables. Just a simple stable here. Let's see. Oh, we can put in our new stained glasses. A centralized area. And honestly, I think I could put that circle in here. But it wouldn't make sense with the exteriors. Okay, I'm just looking at a little photo. I could save image as in. Let me bring it in as a trace. It's a little quiet today, so we'll go hop over in helpers. Let's see. Go back in here. There you go, Jaja. Get out of here. Okay. So if you're gonna flip flop it, this would be rooms. And this would be storage. This would be interior. Which means this door should not be here. I'm gonna put this like here instead. Oh, I guess. Bring this door over there. Let's make some walls. I don't know what the difference is between these two. Can I not place walls in here? Okay. How many we got? One, two, three. Yeah. And then there's extra room on the circular ones. But we'll just make them even. This is the entrance to this building. That can't be the actual entrance, can it? Can it? Let's see. Guess it doesn't really make sense over there, hey? Um, I like this. Segmented. We'll have two like sitting regular areas. We'll have storage in here. I think we're gonna slide all this over. Sadly, but this is the reality. Collisions off. There we are. Oh, that's right. Ooh, undo. I'm saying we can't do the original design of the photo. So yeah, this is right where I like, in my opinion, like the trace overlay is great. Why don't I have the ability to just click it off? It doesn't make any sense to me that I can't just click it on and off. Like, why do I have to go back into trace overlay mode and then go back over here? And that's just like quality of life, like other tools that need to be made. Like, I know the reason why. The reason why is because that's an entirely different job, process, and function that requires coding and manpower, or I should say, like labor, right? Um, and money in the long run to make that a reality, right? So things don't happen unless designers literally physically make them happen. Like it's not just like oh, that idea is great, you know. And I've kind of learned that and become like much more patient with my, you know, wants and desires of the program. I used to think I shouldn't say that. I used to hey, what's up, Mac? No, I'm going to take care of that stuff on the weekend when I don't stream. That's my my like workshop time because I'm normally just doing family stuff, so I don't have time to like sit down and do a block hour of stream. And I still need, you know, I still have like 30 minutes here and there in between like stuff I am doing. So I'll probably take care of that this weekend. What's up, Steve? Let's see, you got anybody over on Kick? no one on kick. So what was I saying? What I was saying is I've become much more patient with Dungeon Alchemist. I think when I first was introduced to the program, I also think like this is very common as we see like new people come to the DA Discord and ask a lot of the same frequent questions, right? Or for concerns, or desires even. And then as you get a bit more comfortable with the program, you start to be like, oh well, these things might not be feasible like in 2024, right? These things might not be feasible without like 2 years of work from a dev team. um, so like you can want things, but it's nice, it's a bit easier when you're patient with the process and you can just kind of sit back and be like, hey, good things will come. And I think what I found is if you sit back patiently and wait for what is given from the devs, like you'll be pleasantly surprised, as I have been, where I was like, oh, I didn't even think I wanted this, and here's me using this function way more than not, right? Um, yeah. So my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. Dun, dun, dun. Do, 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 do. Um, well, I guess this is different, as the gate is actually, they're at the tops and the bottoms. Yeah, I guess these are over there. Don't move there, I won't be able to see it. I'll be locked out, trace lock. I start from this corner. I'll bury them in this corner. Actually, I gotta put these in from the side so their pillars merge. That's something that I'm finding with a lot of these assets that have, physical pieces underneath them, is they often will have unrealistic um, ramifications. Where you're like, oh, I put in all these roof over tiles or something, and there's like so many beams underneath. Where you're like, wow, there would never be this many support beams. Like this structure could be held together with half as many of these beams, just because that's how wood works. But like I understand the asset as being blah blah blah. So that's what my little trick, my little workaround is. You just kind of merge them, right? You see how I have that like just sitting inside, so this one beam doesn't become a double beam like so, what have you, right? So there's QT ways, and this is more for like side angles, view shots, because you gotta remember, map making program, we're gonna be looking at it like this, right? So you don't even see those beams. So, everything's like with a grain of salt, I've found. You can be huffy about it, but like you look at the final product and you're like, wow, this is amazing. Why was I even upset? Like I really just think it's just like being familiar with the program. Anybody is going to be confused and put off by a new tool that they don't understand. And it's about one step away. Oh, well, that's not good. How'd that happen? I know how it happened. I'm not coming down on a 90. So I'm slowly drifting away from the wall every time I place one of these tiles. I've switched it, or kind of cut it back a little bit in my favor. But this should, yeah. You see how it brings me in? Brings me in that little half a caretographer. That's my own measurement, by the way. A caretographer. Um, boom, boom. Yeah, old caretographer been making custom fences for a while, dude. I got all the fancy tricks. You come on over and check them out. There we are. And come from the side so I can merge beams. Just double check Spotify. Are these all by the same? Oh, there's a. Yeah, this is what I should be listening to. Alright, alright. I still like the idea or concept of having these three barrels here. Might even put like a little bench now. Also, why don't I use the... That looks bad. Like, this is like another thing I'm like, that happens. When you remake stuff, you sometimes, like, second time around, make things look better. So, like, I'm not even mad that I'm reworking this, because I kind of like what I'm seeing at what I saw before, which was this will look better if I try to do this a bit differently. Uh, 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 um. Hmm. Jaja. There we are. Let's try that. This is looking much more stably, I'll tell you that. So come in here, the door, gate, the gate. Trough is near the warehouse over there. So right here is a trough. A wood stump, hay bales. Inside now. I like that better. Jahay. Je Jezebel. What are you doing? Oh, she got the catnip. That's what that is. Are you I forgot I had it on my desk. You get into the catnip, Jaja. Put that there just to fill in some space. I believe 60-60 is the answer to that question. Hey there, looks like we got a couple more people over on Kick. How we doing? What's going on? Welcome, welcome. I am the Caretographer. We're making maps today. We're doing a commission map, so this is for one of my clients. They've requested quite specifically this village. This village that I've been diligently working upon. Hope everybody's doing well on this hump day, Wednesday. You know what? I just gotta come back and do this. Sadly, because it'll never, it just won't look right if I never do it. Get rid of that. Okay. Do that one. Ugh, the laggy earth brushes, laggy terrain brushes. Is it my style? Is I just click a lot because you can't click and drag. It just doesn't let you. I think it might be more to do with my computer than it has to do with anything else. I think it's like a capacity thing, a workload thing. I think like the brushes require a fair amount of power to be used. This is all speculation. I do not know if any of this is actually true, you know. So the cool thing about this map is what I've been doing is I just use the eraser tool to do my grass. There we are. Get it kind of shapely. Thought it was a little thick at the gate. I can live with that. Right there, I don't like though. Just a little trimmage. Okay. I can live with that. Do do do. Um. Oh yeah, should do the rest of this. All right. Okay. What do you got for hearts these days? The Ring of Fire. Look at this thing, huh? That's cool. Nice. We got a whole bunch of new hearts. Look at this. Anything not so over the top though? Not really. Everything's a little dramatic. Hi, Chase. Right? There's they. I hate and love the little animations inside the animations. Right? Because it's like I am here to make art. So like I want my tools to be as efficient as possible, but in the same time, like they're pretty fun. They're pretty it's pretty fun stuff. There's one animation that rubs me wrong, and it's the tile animation. I can do it for you quick. It's no big deal when you do like maybe a couple tiles. Oh, is it not doing it anymore? Did they get rid of it? Oh, no way. Did they get rid of it for me? Let me look. Let me look. Let me look. But they did. Oh my god, dude. Go DA. They're the best. That's what I was saying about the devs. If you just like, if you're patient and you just, don't get all, up in a tizzy. So what I was going to show you is like they used to do like a flap, 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 flap every tile that changed, and like a couple tiles doesn't matter, but when you do like one big room, you're sitting there and you're just like you're watching them all go, and you're just like, damn, this is like adding 10 seconds on every time I want to change the floor, like I think I probably end up using these ones. They match my decor. That's why I like them. Welcome, Chase. I'm the cartographer. We make maps and we do some fantasy, some homebrew. We do some D&D. We're gonna be doing Vampire the Masquerade tomorrow night. So I should also be checking this myself. Settings. Yeah, I'm in high quality. If you turn this down to low, that helps. And then also, where is it? View, disable nature animations. So that right there dials back a lot of the processing power of the program. And honestly, what I tend to do is I forget that I've done that, and I just think everything looks great the way it is. And then I'm like, wait a second, like I just did this. I was doing a landing page. In the landing page was based on like a beach tropical scene. So there's like an ocean scenery, there's the sun in the backdrop, the sunset, right? And I was taking all these cinematics of it, and I was like, wait a second, cartographer, like it's not even on full graphic capacity. Like you're literally just like doing yourself a disservice. But I just get so accustomed, and things just look so good. Like this already, just it looks good. It doesn't look bad at all. So it's quite incredible how powerful this program actually is. And actually, like this should speed things up now that I've turned everything down a bit. Ooh, that's getting some weird sight lines. There we are. Okay. Yeah, I try to. I guess in the past like year or two, um, I've started experimenting more and more. I think like 2 3 years ago was when I first started. I tried Blades in the Dark on a whim. I hung up on surgery, and I knew I'd have some extra time on my hands like during the day, right? And I was like, oh, like let me try to find a D&D session like midday, right? So I can fill those hours. And then it ended up being a Blaze in the Dark session with a bunch of homies from across the pond. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like they're getting out of work, and I'm just like making lunch, right? Um, and so that was a lot of fun. And that was like my first system that wasn't D&D. And then I just started trying more and more and more. And right now I'm currently hung up because my two D&D sessions got put on hiatus, and I'm only playing vampires. So now I currently don't play Dungeons and Dragons, which is sad. But you know, all things come to an end. You know, it's really just the nature of the game. You can't have the same party for forever, and it's even better if you can. So appreciate it, right? Um, don't take it for granted. But it really is just giving me more time to kind of create and get myself, you know, back on my feet as far as like what I want to have created and what I'm doing. So I do have a lot of intentions to start do streaming my own content for. Oh, this door is actually going to be a small door here for Dungeons and Dragons. So I am excited to start that up soon. Probably looking like the end of the year here. Starting a new job. I finally got up to speed with my commissionable work and my cartography project. I don't know it's what to call it. Side hustle. Nice. We'll put the light right off there. And it really is the truth, Chase. Right? It's like half the game is playing the game, the other half is just being a little HR management. You know, like getting everybody together, and it's honestly it's just the reality. You know, people are gonna have life, and we always say, like in my parties and my groups, we always say real life comes first, because it does. You know, like if and something comes up and something happens, like take care of it. It's cool. We're not gonna sit here and make you feel bad that you had to, you know, step away because real life called. You know, and that's currently where we're at. Like one of our players had to step away, and then another one was like, "Well, this is probably a good time for me to kind of do that too." And then the other four of us were like, "Okay, we'll wait for you to come back. It's no big deal." You know, you never want to make someone feel bad in that situation because you don't know what's happening in their life and where they're at. We all have our own battles, right? And that's very real when it comes to just about doing anything as an adult, right? You know, you like to have plans, but you make exceptions for people. It's, you know, we gotta treat each other with grace. I mean, heck, you could have people that want to show up and just don't do it all at the same time. You know how many sessions just start an hour behind because everybody just like boop bop booped into the lobby? Like, hey Stormy, what's up? That's like my favorite practice in that sense is like to have like a 30-minute meeting, pre-meeting, right? So like say I as the DM want the game to start at 7. I say the game starts at 6:30. Every week I say the game starts at 6:30, even though in my brain I know the game starts at 7. So everybody can kind of have some time to find their seats. Can say, "Hey, what's up? How you doing? I did this week, right? Like, how was your week?" Because people, you should want encourage players to be friends with each other, to be friendly, right? And check in on each other. I think a lot of times as adults, our games will be the only times we see each other. It's like, hey, I've given you 4 hours of my week. You know, I don't have time in my week to keep continuously check in with you and like and you know say what's up. Sometimes it's different, but sometimes it's not. I think it varies from party to party. Um, and like in that regard, it's like that 3 4 hour block is like the time that I've allotted for myself to to socialize and be like, hey, what's going on with you this week, right? But you don't want that to take away from your game time, which is I think is the important distinction to make. You should try to make that game time holy and sacred. Like a 3 hour block is a 3 hour block. Like we're doing it. We're sitting at the table, we're grinding. And when 3 hours hits, it's a 3 hour block. Don't don't let that block turn into a 4 hour block. Make it three. Keep it three, right? You know, if you play four, keep it four. Whatever it is. I think it's important to start and stop your games very intentionally in that regard. So I'm torn. I don't know if I want to do like a dirt spatching of everything. I think everything should probably be a blend. I don't like it just all being one color. But maybe outside could be a bit different. I figured in here it wouldn't be because it's like stables area, you know. So it's like there's horse poop. The dirt's moved around a lot. You know, there's life going on in here. What are you up to today, Stormy? Waiting for dinner to done. All right. All right. Let's get in here. That's enough painting. Let's get some beds in. It'll make my life look better. We want bunk beds. We want old messy beds. Carpets and desks. Nice. The random pillow assortment. Sign me up. That's the minutia that we love. Matching doors. They're like very square desks with a candle on them and a chair. Let's look at what we got quick. And I'm pretty sure, I hope at least, that when I want to, when I deem it necessary, or if my client is just like, oh, you know what, I would like there to be floors in this tavern, I think I can just drop some floors in. I think I should be okay with that. Because every now and then your clients just do that to you. Just be like, oh, you know what? You know what would be cool? So exactly what I requested wasn't true, and you actually did the exact opposite of what I requested. Wouldn't that be cool? And you're just like, it's fine. Oh, maybe this makes the most sense. Oh, but the color. I mean, maybe. Um, if I could get that with a bit darker of a tone, I would love it. But I think it's just gonna have to work for now. I don't really have that many actually square tables. And these rooms are so small, like you can't even see into them. So they look like tables regardless. Let's see. And this tone matches the bed tone a little bit, so I think that's okay. I'm gonna use auto placement on these so they're all in the same spot. Just try to do random placements for the chairs. Candle. Too nice. Candle holder. Nice. I want the cheap one. There we are. Alrighty. Yeah, let me just double check, because when that happens, yeah. I feel like it's gonna happen. I feel like so one thing I need to like there's a language barrier between me and my client, so we translate to each other. So sometimes, every now and then, what we say or intend is a little bit different, and there has been some, not conflict, but just some miscommunication. I think is the best way to put that, and that's just the reality. I think I do one of these undressed. I don't even know if these will show up, but I'm putting them in for my own sake. So I know the horses have water, the horses have feed. They're good. They're taken care of. Caretographer can take the day off on that one. Well, what about you, Chase? What are you up to? You're new around here. What do you get into? What's your jam? What's your vibe? Do you like D&D? Do you like Pathfinder? What do you see yourself playing most times, more times than not? Or what are you currently playing? Maybe what are you actively doing? That's a great place to start, as always. I'm gonna go with these. Oh, some beautiful stuff they've added. Do 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 do. Boom. Huh. I have to just leave it like such. We're on a bunch of different games. Current lineup is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicle, the Ryutana system, Tama, Lancer, Fire Emblem Homebrew, Zelda themed D&D 5e. That sounds fun. A Pokemon. Oh, you got a whole bunch of stuff going on. A whole bunch of irons in the fire. They don't fit the themes of the games you run. Well, I mean, stay with us here. Pause. Right? So, these are the assets that are currently presented just by Dungeon Alchemist, the stock program, right? This is what. And they just released a patch that added a whole bunch of stuff. So there's quite a lot of magical fantasy type stuff. Very D&D 5e fantasy, or Pathfinder for that matter. A lot of artificer stuff. So it's like that, like I said, D&D 5e, we're talking like 1400, 1500-ish era in that lore and that verse. But let's browse assets, let's go over here and let's say I want to do some sci-fi stuff, right? There we go. There's a dome, there's a laser cannon, there's some doors, these crates, keyboards, sci-fi sofa, a bench, just cool different tables and stuff, so the Steam Workshop has, think, like over, I'm gonna probably just check, can I? I think it was like over like 9,000 assets in maps combined. There's collections too. That might help us with looking for a certain theme. Yeah, here we go. So we got like Lost Tribes. We have a lot of neon stuff. Sack's been putting up a lot of stuff for us. Thank you, Sack. Angled ramps, those are super useful. Fallout props, right? That sci-fi, modern assets, modern vehicles, mining cart collections, so there's a lot of stuff in here that the community's built up around DA that works very well. Spiral stair banister. Oh, dude, all the pieces you need to make your own tower. Look at this. I'm going to need to use some of these in my tower over there. So, yeah, there's a lot more than just what's presented here. And the other, how does it work to play it for? How does it work to play it for games? As in, like, using Dungeon Alchemist as your VTT? Like, you want to run your game out of Dungeon Alchemist? Yeah, so you run your game in Roll20. So, essentially, you will have these perspectives to use if that was what you were going to do. So you export the map, and I said that it's a map building program, therefore it makes two-dimensional maps, and a lot of times the stuff and the assets are designed or geared for a two-dimensional view, which you're going to see here in about 2 seconds. But what else you get to do with this is very nice, and I'll show you those options next. So bear with it a moment, because I got a lot of buildings on the map here. So hello, hey, how are you doing? I'm good. I was just explaining to somebody the export functions of Dungeon Alchemist here on my stream. They were curious about how they can actually apply what they use here on Dungeon Alchemist to their game, and they use Roll20. So essentially, what you see is like I just pulled up the export, and I'll stream this over to Discord so you can see what I'm doing too. Toaster. So they use Chase said that they use Roll20. So what you'd want to do in most cases is export your map as such, and you can come up here and you can do the Roll20 export specifically, which will make the file load up into Roll20 much faster. But what else it's going to do is it's going to render your lights to your VTT. You can render your doors and your windows. And there's chests and other items that have like active uses. So see like the fireplace, stuff like that. Lights will turn on and off. All that stuff should get imported into your Roll20 automatically with the JSON file, I believe it's called. And I know it does it for Foundry specifically. I just personally haven't done it for Roll20 yet. So not only do you get your two-dimensional map, but you get all the doors and windows and lights and chests and boxes that have animations and functions. They'll automatically load into your Roll20 function. So players will be able to click that and use that as like an active live map. And then furthermore, you have a 3D world to take cinematics. So we have our cinematic mode, and we could do like a little security camera angle, right? You could place a couple tokens here if you had the tokens of your players, and you could just take a photo. You can do recordings. So if you wanted, you could maybe do... Mac brings this one up all the time. Like, he has a player that uses Find Familiar, and they often will say, hey, we're not going to walk in there. I'm going to fly my familiar over that battlefield, and then we'll walk in there, right? So after like 10 times of doing that, the DM's just like, all right, well, how about every time you go anywhere, I give you a bird's eye view of your familiar flying over the map, right? So there's a whole bunch of camera angles and stuff that you can kind of do and play around with now that you have this 3D world, because you know there's just all these different perspectives that you're allowed to use. So I really love what DA brings, because it's more than just a map. It's a map with cinematic. It's a map with cool background photos. It's a map with landing, like you can make landing pages in this. You can do so much stuff with DA outside of just making a map. I don't know if that true screenshots too big for stuff. Well, you can like if you have a Discord or something, like you can propose those to people differently than throwing them up in Roll20. Like you could have that medium be wherever you want. So the map is the map, but you say, hey, look in the Discord general channel of our game. You know, I have a video for you to kind of set the thematic, and you can put some cool music over the video. Dungeon Alchemist does do animated battle maps too, so you can do WebM4 files. I've done like animated rivers. The lava is really cool for animated maps. There's a couple cool assets that work very well for animation. Yeah. It's kind of just like a run through, and they plan to add more features to this. I think personally the cinematic mode could use some upgrades, as it's a big selling point of Dungeon Alchemist in my opinion. So I think a bit smoother camera transitions, maybe some automated camera transitions, so you don't have to literally mouse them yourself. Like, 'cause I'll be doing it and I'll just like, you know, I have like a jittery hand, you know, like. So it'd be nice to have like one that just like does a 360 around your map, like a drone. One that does like a gloss over, like the familiar, right? Just a couple like pre-programmed camera functions. Yeah. What's up, Toaster? How you doing, my friend? Yeah, awesome. Yeah, of course. It was I was kind of, you caught me right in the middle of a question, so I try to be as prompt with my responses as I can. But I am trying to make maps, so it's like boom, bah, I'm back, I'm left, I'm right. But that's a part of the game when you're streaming. What are you up to today, Toaster? Oh, thank you for reminding me. I have to finish mine too. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was actually peeping your entry. I believe last night or this morning, early this morning, and I was very intrigued. I was like, this is more a setting or a scene than it is a map. Like it's so animated. There's so much of a story going on in it, right? I was very impressed. I can't wait to see Mac tear it open on Saturday. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Actually, you bring up a good point. Actually, for Chase, something I haven't mentioned, Toaster is telling me about all the cool tokens that DA added. I totally forgot about these things. They used to have like 4 or 5. Now they have like 30 plus. A wandering door. What does this thing do? It's a door. Look at the detail on these. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes, almost like literally a camera. Like say you were in a studio and you were like say I'm going to put a tripod up and I want this camera to have this one angle all the time. Tokens are perfect for that. I do it all the time actually. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. No, don't worry about that token in the corner. But yeah, that's another good point. Is DA is super friendly as when it comes to importing STL files in your own work, and a lot of those assets that you see there, like I said, SAC, which is SAC. He's one of the creators on the Dungeon Alchemist family. Um, and there's Asmodeus, there's Swedish Cook, there's so many people who just make assets for us, and they're just dropping STL files in that they've made on their own time, you know. And you can do that too. I plan on doing that. I can't wait until I get back into my 3D modeling and stuff, and I'm like, hey, I need a rectangle with a hole in it. Let me go make that and drop it in my map. You know, that's just awesome agency to have as a creator. Yes. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I think there definitely is like the crux of using DA as its VT as the VTT is sometimes you won't have the ability to do what you want. But I will say, if you don't know, there's a creator, Lodame, who's on Patreon. They're on and off of DA Discord from time to time, but they make painted rendered STL files that after MZ 250, I should say. And that person is a very famous person on Patreon who's making all of the D&D monster manual people, items, NPCs, monsters, like cataloging them in STL files. And then Lodame takes those free files and paints them for you so that they're a little bit more usable in your game. And they have quite a few different models. So if you're looking for something toaster, like say you need a hag, or you need an iron golem, like he's got it. It's go check out Lodame's Patreon. There's a whole bunch of free files and stuff. If you're using Dungeon Alchemist as a VTT, I think if you want to use DA as a VTT, you're gonna have to do a little legwork as far as like getting some things turned on so that they're useful. Because you need tokens, you need other types of things like what are they called? Like effect counters. Like if you're gonna say somebody's stunned or paralyzed, right? Um, mhm, mhm, mhm. Yep. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of options and stuff. You're right, but you have to kind of take that on your own accord. And actually, I think you mentioned light, using light source and like colored light as a condition effect. I think that's a great idea, and I'm thinking of SAC just made assets. Let's see if I can find them for my viewers. Browse assets. They did just neon lights, a light package, but they're invisible lights. So you should be able to just drop them in wherever you like. Where do you put them under? Like what I do personally is I frequently will take a candle, I'll paint it green, and then I shrink that candle down until it's super super tiny tiny. Purple omnidirectional light. Here we go. Subscribe, download, place object. Yeah. So look. So it's just this little orb that's just gonna bring you some purple light. So like say we have. Let's go into a room. Oh, this is better for like a room filter, if anything. I really like this asset. Let's see a token. Where's token button? There we go. It's already putting a purple hue on him. Let's try to do it with a candle. But I mean, you just play around with stuff a little bit, and this is kind of how like you get all your neat tricky workarounds. We could try to do it with light. I think in this situation, I'd probably just opt to do something like this and say green base. Because the cool thing about the abstracts is if you place somebody or something on top of them, you can grab the abstract and move them around, right? So, and we can paint the abstract many colors. So you do have like these quick little cheap seed tokens that you can use as condition tokens if you wanted. Bases to your models. So like everybody kind of like relishes the idea of DA being a full VTT. I think we all secretly want it to be. Will that happen? They've spoke about it. The devs say that they'll do after all of their Kickstarter promises have been completed that they will do maybe a VTT light, and that's a maybe, and that's a light. So it will have some functions of a VTT, and it might happen, and it definitely will only happen in a long time from now. Yes, yeah. You gotta deliver what you promise. Hmm. Hmm. Very good looking. Is it? Which are you talking about? DA right now? Or are you talking about a different program? Okay, okay. It's from Wizards of the Coast. Oh, I've seen a couple. I'm following. It's called Minar, which is a full AI world builder. So essentially, you type in your functions, and it will build you a massive map that you will keep generating as you walk through it. And I thought that was interesting and neat, but like it's really just like a lot of like randomness, right? There's no real agency to it, which is I think is me personally as a dungeon master, and I think like the community as homebrew really enjoy our agency and really enjoy when we make a story the way we make it and having things where we want them, right? Not just like randomly placed caves and whatever. I think there's definitely a world to be playing that if you like just like a more random style, more random generated. But I feel like from what I know of the homebrewing community, at least in D&D, we really love our ideas and we really like seeing our ideas come to life, not just like a big beautiful world for no reason. Um, and DA does that. Like DA lets you build piece by piece, what you see, what you want. Like you can trace your entire dungeon into Dungeon Alchemist. You can do so much stuff. It's wild. I've been on Dungeon Alchemist for over a year now, and it's just like every time I'm on it, I love it, love it. All right, so I'm really just like kind of like pumping along here, just trying to fill this space and make it look like a tavern. I think I'm gonna switch the tables and go for a round table look. I need to, and I don't know. You took the dragon idea, so I might not be able to use the dragon idea, but I'm gonna check out a few of the other tokens and see if I can't get something that kind of tickles my fancy. Here, I'll just slap this table down. I'll show you what my build is for the challenge, so you know what I'm talking about. How long have I been streaming for? An hour and a half. Yeah, I'm due for a break here too. Due for a fiver. Open. Battlegrounds. So I was doing a couple weeks ago on my Friday night stream. I do free map Fridays. So I just make a map with the community for free to give to everybody to have fun with, right? Do whatever you want with it. And my theme was kind of like layer of hell, Avernus, like dark, brimstone, blood, lava, fire, death. Um, and I kind of wanted to like do an extension of that into my battlegrounds, where I was like, oh, like what would a battlegrounds look like in that? And so I've come with this gate. I've come up with this gate of lava and brimstone. But I'm looking at it and I'm just like, it just feels like a little empty, right? It feels like there should be stuff on these walls. Like maybe, maybe like it should be this, you know? Like maybe I should like put a dragon up on there and like make it like, Rawr. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do yet. So maybe I'll fool around with some of these new tokens because we have so many more. I just keep forgetting because it's been a year and I've just been like, oh, DA doesn't have tokens, or they do. There's just like not enough to do anything with, right? You can't keep putting the same paladin with the same hammer on your map and expect it to not look funny, right? Like, they're all the same, right? So like now you actually have some variation and some like the Lord of Bones, the Skeletal Warrior. There's two of them. There's three Skeletal Warriors. There's four. Four, and then this fifth random skeleton. Like, that's so much. It's so cool. Yeah, I don't know. So maybe I think that's where I'm gonna try and fool around with that in a little bit. And I still got to figure out how I'm gonna finish the rest of this here. It's a small little cutesy map. But I'm gonna step away for a bathroom break, give myself a fiver, and I will be back in a few, everybody. Right. We're back in the saddle. Yeah, we're back. Alright, let's get I'll do this later. I'll work on this later. I want to finish my 2 hour here. Get my managerial. And we'll get going here. Thank you for the follow, Chronicle. Appreciate you. Hope to see you in chat soon. I got another buddy joining up. Hi there, welcome. I'm just getting back from my break. Let me make sure all my yeah, I'm good. We're good. We're set. We're locked. We're loaded. So I'm doing this. You know, I'm really struggling because there's no floor. It's bothering me. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but you know, we're just gonna keep keep on trucking along here. Let me get rid of that last one. Do something central in here. It's difficult for my brain to be like, oh, we're putting all this furniture on just on the in the dirt. But like they did used to do that. Like that was a thing. So, you know, here we are trying to emulate that. I'm gonna have to use not this one. There's a dirty one that I want to use. This one. You know what we'll do? Place this here. Place this here. And we'll do these wood stacks up in front. Collision's off. Ew, what am I doing? So I'm just gonna try and do this, and it's just gonna try to like cover up the where the circle meets. Oh, cool. We can do like a split piece of wood there. You see, like, I say this all the time on my channel. Like, how many times can you make the same asset look different? Look. Just watch me. Watch me cook. Like, endless combinations from one piece. And this is why, like, I'm just, like, super fine working around everything. I'll put that there. Continue my little cheatsy doodles. That's what we like to call these. These are cheatsy doodles. You know, the assets say it should look one way, but we're gonna do our own thing to make it look another way. How many ways? You tell me, chat. You tell me, chat. How many ways can we make that same log asset look different, right? There's 4 different stacks with the same piece of wood. And just for mimicry, stuff matches. I always like, you know, repeating the patterns and just changing them up a little bit. They're the same fire pit, but just a little different. And that looks splendid from above. I need some chairs, some furniture. Oh, I do need to redo those tables, actually. I need them to be smaller. Oh, no. No, those are about the same size. Um, I might replace all these chairs. Yes, I will. Let's do that now before we go any further. I have I like doing like I said mimicry or just like having stuff match in a sense. You know, like if somebody was making chairs, they would pretty in this town probably have one chair maker. You know, the wood I like having match as many times as I can. But the thing about wood grains is like when you put a wood grain on a wood grain, sometimes it's better to have it not match. But I think we're okay here. If you guys are looking for more of my content, some free maps, you can check out my TikTok for some like video reels of some of my work. You can also check out my Patreon at Caretographer. Plenty of free maps for your disposal. Coffee Bot. I got most of my maps on Coffee Bot. I'm a little behind over there because I've just been behind in general, but maybe a bench. Oh. Actually, you know what might be cool? Like a table bench scene. Oh, it just like blends with the dirt so bad though. Well, I guess inside here would be more dry dirt. And outside would be more wet dirt. Go away, plant. Thank you. Oh, it just gets so laggy when you start using the brush. Need more processing power is what I need. Yeah, I just really want the center of this to be really dry. I like the dark dirt, but like also it's like this is like inside of a building. It would be a bit drier out here. A bit darker out here. It's always straight jam, and shout out to Medieval Lo-Fi on Spotify and YouTube. We love your stuff. Thanks for the copyright free music. We appreciate you. Shout out to let me go find their name. Yeah, Normandy. Shout out to Normandy for the sweet ass carpets that we're using in the chapel here. We love all of our asset makers. That's why I always click. You see me just like rapid click and click, 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 click. Because that's pretty much what it comes out to be anyways when you click and hold. So I might even try and make that a bit more dark. Not so blended, but I like on the inside now. I like that I switched that. It's making my brain feel better. And zooming in also helps. I mean, oh yeah. I'm gonna be here for a minute only. Get my draw pad on. Tapping's easier than clicking. There we go. It didn't plug it in all the way. And then no. I don't remember how I move. Right click. What's my right click? Control. I just have to move around like so. So what I like about when I use my draw pad is it gives me a little aimer, and when it lags like that, I still know where my mouse is. So it might take my computer a little bit to generate what I want it to generate here, but it still does it. And again, this is one of the things, you know, you can auto gen, you can just use what's given, but I feel like, you know, the light brown by itself just has no texture. Doesn't look good with no texture. So we're going to try and incorporate some of this darkness into our map. There it goes. Sometimes I gotta go outside the box, outside the lines, so that it deletes whatever bush is cutting through. I'll go back and trim it up. That's right. Gotta remember my controls. You see me trying switching over to the small tiny brush. Um, the brushes work like a radial almost. So what I mean by that is like the center of the brush will be very strong, and the edge of the brush will be very weak, which doesn't make for good detail, in my opinion. Like if you want a sharp line, the side of a big circle is going to be messy, and if you do the tiny circle, you get these nice, cute little lines. They're very detail oriented, which I really enjoy. Okay. Nice peaceful day on the map. Hope everyone else is having a peaceful day as well. And the best days of summer where it's still beautiful, but it's not scorching every day of the week, right? Ah, there we go. Go back here. And where is this node? Jesus, it's way up there. Okay. What else do I need to do? This, keep going down the side of the house. A bit bigger here. I almost want this to just all be. Okay. Do we want to? I think what we'll try to do is I'll try to make some pathways, I guess. I don't know, I might just leave it as is. Just patchy dark earth. love my chapel that I made. Alright, that's much better than just clicking like a maniac. And I really appreciate that. Was actually a tip from my buddy Lodame. They're like, hey, you know, draw pad might be better for drawing because pretty much that's all you're doing with the paintbrush is drawing. Clicking and placing is a bit easier with the mouse for sure. Alright, we're coming along here. We're coming along here. Starting to look like a town, a village. These tables look so much better now. I don't know what happened here. Let's fix. Okay. Well, what do I center them on those? Little half bench. Yeah. That works. That's a bigger room down there. Oh, hey. Let's put that back. There you go. It looks a bit different. Oh, jeez. There we go. Storage, crates. looks much better. Barrels. Stack of barrels. Keep this path clear. Hmm. Six, 5, 4. Let's move all my barrels. Tall ones here. Small ones here. Oh! Yes, much better. Baskets. Barrels, bags, sacks. Let's do sacks again, but make them a bit smaller. There we go. A couple bags falling over. Big bag. Let's try and do like something center focused. Some rope. Let's sneak some random buckets in. It's a random metal pot. Oh, perfect. Library. Doesn't hurt to check. Alright, we have to work our way into the next room here, but I think this is a good pause area as far as just checking in with my client, seeing what they think of it, and etc. And I'm gonna get some lunch. I feel like a table needs to go right here or something. Like a prepping table or some of sorts. I feel like I'm gonna have to put some doors in here too, but no doors here. Cinema taking forever. I just wanna take a picture. This map really isn't that big either. Come on now. I don't want it to bunk up on me. There it goes. Alright. Give her a save. And we'll send those snapshots over to the client. See what they think. And, well, thanks everybody for coming by and watching my stream. I appreciate you, as always. We had quite a few people today. Love to see it. Love to see a bit more of you in chat, but when you're ready. So we got one over there on Kick and a few of my buddies probably lurking over here. Again, thanks for the follow, Chronicle. I appreciate that. Helping me get to my goal. Pushing our way to the top of the algorithm, one follower at a time. So thanks for your support and take care. Hey, thanks, Asmo.